What's up guys, Matt from the Football Boots team, and today is all about comparing the Nike Tiempo Legend 6 to the all-new Tiempo Legend 7 to find out if there's been a small change up or a massive modification, because at the end of the day, is it better to get a Tiempo Legend 6 on sale or pay the extra price for the Legend 7? So let's find out in today's video. So what's the Tiempo Legend all about? Well, as you guys already know, super soft K-leather upper for incredible touch and feel on the ball alongside being ultra comfortable. But what's actually happening with the construction of the new 7 compared to the 6? We'll bring it in the 6 first for a close look, and we can see it's got that K-leather across the majority of the boot, but then at the heel cup, it's made of that synthetic material which is quite stiff. Now bringing in the Legend 7, again, K-leather across the majority of the boot, but now looking at the heel cup, and we can see one of the biggest modifications, and that is Flyknit is now introduced, which is much softer, but also means you can customize the fit a little bit better, which we're going to get into later in the video. So a massive factor of the Tiempo Legend as a silo is that K-leather upper, and there's no doubt on the Tiempo Legend 6, it feels incredibly premium, nice and padded, not too thick, not too thin, nicely in between, but overall very high quality. Now on the Legend 7, the upgraded boot, it doesn't feel as thick to me, it feels thinner, so that means you might get a little bit more barefoot touch and feel, but in terms of feeling as quality, I don't think it's as there compared to the Legend 6, but obviously durability was an issue, and maybe the Legend 6 was just too soft, so on the Legend 7, they had to make it a little bit more durable. So earlier in the video, we mentioned how one of the biggest differences was the new heel cup on the Legend 7. Now this is the first time we've seen a Flyknit material on a Tiempo, which is very exciting and also means it's going to be incredibly soft and comfortable around the back of the foot. But what else does it have to be? Well, it has to give you a lot of structure and stability for that lockdown and responsiveness. So to aid this, Nike have given it exposed lacing hoops, which we've seen on the Hypervenom 3 now, which means when you pull those laces tight, your foot becomes very snug fitting inside the boot to make sure that lockdown responsiveness is going to be optimal. Now, something I find really interesting when comparing the Legend 6 to the Legend 7 is how the upper actually feels to touch. Now, the Legend 6 is very soft and also very smooth to touch. The Legend 7 is still very soft, but the upper is much grippier compared to that Legend 6. I'm not sure what Nike have done to this actual K-leather upper, but there's no doubt that compared to the Legend 6, the Legend 7 is much grippier, which is definitely a good thing for me. So for as long as I can remember, the Nike Tiempo Legend has had the same sole plate for so many years now. I'll bring it in for you guys a little bit closer. You're probably all very familiar with it, and this is an incredibly bold move by Nike to chuck it away because it is so popular. And now on the Nike Tiempo Legend 7, it comes with a brand new sole plate. So as I said, this could be a bit of a controversial one because there's so many pros and amateurs out there that love the Legend 6 sole plate so much. But this Legend 7 comes with hyper stability technology, and what that actually means is it's going to be very stiff in the midfoot and also heel for added responsiveness. And to be fair, in terms of performance, I think this is going to be the highest performing Tiempo Legend we have ever seen because of the sole plate and also the Flywire cables. So we've already mentioned a massive talking point of the 7 compared to the 6 was the decision to make a brand new sole plate. But arguably an even bolder decision by Nike was to completely change the stud configuration. So let's take a closer look at what we're actually seeing. And at the very back of the heel, we've got chevron shaped studs, which are very similar to what we see on the Mercurial. After that, 2 more bladed studs, and then across the forefoot we've now got conical shaped studs with some chevron shaped grooves, also another chevron shaped studs in the middle for braking and accelerating, and then some smaller chevron and bladed studs at the very toe. Now what this actually means is the Tiempo Legend 7 is now much more aggressive compared to the 6, which was more about underfoot comfort. Now one factor of the 2 Tiempo boots which is so noticeable is the weight of them. Now trust me, the Legend 6 I never thought felt heavy to me, but compared to the Legend 7 there is a massive difference. I'm not sure if it's the heel cut region changing from a stiff synthetic to a soft Flyknit, but the new Legend 7 is so much lighter compared to the Legend 6, which is definitely a good thing. Now, I think it's pretty fair to say that you can't expect too much tech on a pair of leather football boots. And do you know what? On the Legend 6, all we really see is ACC across the upper. What Nike have now done on the Legend 7 is up their game once again and giving you some nice extras. Now, alongside the ACC as standard, we've got Nike grip technology on the sock line and plate to make sure that responsiveness and lockdown is at optimal levels. Now alongside that, we've mentioned already how the Soleplate has hyper-stability technology, but one of my favourite features of the Legend 7 is on the heel liner. We've got some added pads, and trust me, when you are laced up in the boot, they are so unbelievably comfortable. I really hope this is here to stay by Nike, and we're going to see it on some future releases. So let's take a closer look at the tongue regions. Looking at that Legend 6, and when this was first released, the hybrid tongue was a massive feature of it because it made for much more of a seamless fit. But let's put that aside and bring in the Legend 7 to see what's happened this time around. Well, this time Nike have again upgraded it. They've taken away the hybrid tongue and given it a full Flyknit tongue. And again, this has made it much more seamless and much more comfortable. So overall, another huge upgrade for the Legend 7. So hands down, the biggest problem with the previous Tiempo Legend 6 was its really quite poor durability. So many of you guys had to send yours back to Nike because sole separation was happening so prematurely. So what Nike have done on the Legend 7 is change the way they're made quite dramatically. Now you guys can see that where the sole plate meets the upper is much higher, especially around the toe box, to make sure that sole separation doesn't happen too early, because it was such a problem with the Legend 6. So hopefully this means that you guys don't have to send your pairs back, and these are going to last you much longer this time around. Now, one feature which has completely changed on the Legend 6 to the Legend 7 is the overall fit around the toe box. Now, that Legend 6 was quite narrow and pointed, but this time around on the Legend 7, Nike have made it much more rounded, which is going to be more accommodating for wider foot types. So guys, the big question at the start of the video was to stick with the Legend 6 or upgrade to the Legend 7. Well, after doing our comparison today, I think it's a real easy one for me, and straight up, I would upgrade to the Legend 7. But what about you guys? Vote in the poll card now, Legend 6 or Legend 7. You guys have the power to vote now, and also let us know what you think of each boot in the comment section below. But that pretty much wraps up the video, guys. So thanks for watching. Cheers.